gang, Tony here. It is Saturday morning, weekend of the 4th of July. It's July 2nd, I believe, right now. Sorry about the aspect ratio. I know I have my camera turned the wrong way, but I left it when I hit out. So, going out to yard sale with my brother. We actually don't have to go shopping today. Usually we go yard sailing and then we go shopping on Saturdays. We went shopping yesterday night because it's the 4th of July weekend and we didn't really want to get stuck in like crazy fucking gotta get my beer mode, at the store. So we did that last night. And we're gonna just pretty much go around. We might end up at the flea market today because I'm not sure how many yard sales there are out there. And then later tonight, actually, we're going to the drive-in. They're doing a triple feature, Back to the Future, The Goonies, and E.T. Not sure if we're going to make it through to the very end to see E.T. or not, but I thought it was a pretty cool triple feature. And I haven't been to the drive-in in months. Pretty much since last fall, I guess. This past fall. So, figured it'd be pretty fun for the 4th of July weekend. And then the rest of the weekend, I'll be barbecuing and watching Twilight Zone marathon. And that's pretty much it. Hey, dudes and dudettes. Tony is here. I just realized the other day that when I say, hey gang, Tony here, I'm basically saying, I am here in this space that you now are viewing. And it's kind of weird. This is a little weird. Sorry, I'm overtired, or tired, or something. I have coffee, though, so that helps. I got home at like 3 a.m. last night because my brother and I went out to the Mahoning Drive-In for a triple feature, which was the Goonies, Back to the Future, and E.T. We actually didn't stay for E.T. because it got really late, and, it's an hour drive to the drive-in, so by the time I got home at like 3 in the morning, if you stay for E.T., you get home at like 5 in the morning. You could camp out there, but I usually don't. So, it was great, though. I love going out to that drive-in. It's just a lot of fun. The concession stand is amazing. I actually have a ton of pictures I took. If you guys are friends with me over on Facebook, not my Candy Corn Apocalypse page, but my personal page, I posted a bunch of pictures. Maybe I'll splice some in here so you could see them without having to go to another place. So, this is the yard sale finds video for the 4th of July weekend. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Hope you're having a good time barbecuing and all that jazz. I forgot I shot a little driving around portion, so you probably saw that already. I am going to jump directly in because there's a bit to show you guys. I did find a lot of stuff. Although, it's strange. I actually got a lot of stuff at the flea market. We went to the flea market late, too. So I was surprised. Let's start with... I'm going to start with the biggest score of the day, which is actually the very first yard sale and the very first thing I bought. And, it is a large amount of video game stuff, but it's stuff I don't usually buy. No, how am I going to do this? I don't usually buy this kind of stuff, but it was really cheap, and frankly, I don't usually do this, but I kind of bought it just to maybe either trade or sell, because I don't really play these things. So it was a couple of Game Boy systems, newer ones though. It was a DS Lite, which came with a box. It's pink, which is another reason I wasn't necessarily going to keep it. Not that I care, but I don't know. This was just a bag that was filled with a bunch of stuff. I shoved it in there. And then, so they have the DS Lite, which works. I tested it. And along with that was a ton of manuals and things for the system. So that's all in there. It is missing the stylus that goes with it. I guess it goes like in that hole there. I looked around through the stuff and I could not find it. So I don't know if that matters much with this system. I don't know what am I doing with this thing. I don't know if you like need it for the system to play it or not, but I doubt those are very expensive. Styluses you could probably get pretty cheap. Alright, so that was that. And then there was a second system. Well, there was the bag, the Game Boy Advance bag. And then there was a second system, which was the Game Boy Advance. And that also works. I tested that one out. I forget, there's something with the model numbers. There's, I believe, 101 and 001. And I cannot remember which one. One of them is better for some reason. I can't remember which one is better. And I can't remember why. But this is the model number 001. So I have to look that up and find out. And it came with this charger, which actually is a, kind of a, not a universal charger, but it's a multi-charger, so this one charger works for both systems. And here's where things kind of go off the rails a little bit. There were a ton of games, but there's a lot of like... Alright, we'll start with the DS games. They had these DS games, cases of them, and she opens one of them, and there's no game in it. And she goes, oh, all the games are in one of these bags or something. I'm like, alright. I kind of look, and she shows me there's a couple games, so I take her word for it. It turns out that Pet Vet is complete except for there's no game. I never did I couldn't find a game anywhere. And Robots, again, is complete except for there's no game. To complicate matters, there were 2 DS games with no cases or manuals, which was Scooby-Doo, Who's Watching Who, and the Ghostbusters, which is pretty cool. So these 2 games don't have any packaging, and I have 2 packaging boxes and manuals with no games. So that was a little weird. I'm assuming maybe the kids traded their games and never got them back or something. So that was the first thing. And then these 3 games are complete. There's Brain Age, Nintendogs, which is just a pervasive thing. You see it everywhere. Oh, for DS. And Mario vs. Donkey Kong Mini Land Mayhem. So, yeah, see if I could turn this light a little so you guys could see everything a little better. So those are all the DS games. And then there was a bunch of... Let me put this back in. I know I'm going to get everything all mixed up here. And then there were a bunch of other games as well for the Advance. So there was Space Invaders, Game Boy Color. Toy Story 2, Game Boy Color. Those go in there. Tried to keep everything sort of together here. And then there were a ton of Game Boy Advance games, which are, let's see if we can get all these out. We got Namco Museum, Kids Cards, Finding Nemo, over here, SpongeBob, some SpongeBob game, I don't know, I Spy, Shadow Showdown or something like that, Atari Anniversary Advance, Banjo-Kazooie Grunty's Revenge, Horse Adventures, everyone loves Horse Adventures, and Shark Tale. So you can see kind of why I wasn't too keen on keeping this stuff. It is mostly like kid stuff. And they actually had like all the manuals for all those games. So there's a ton of manuals here for all these games. that are loose, including the Game Boy Advance manuals and manuals for games they don't have. So, just a ton of stuff. It was a really good score. I think it was like $15 for everything. So, I couldn't really pass it up, even though I don't necessarily keep this stuff for myself. So that was the first biggie of the day. I'm going to put that off to the side and deal with it later so you guys don't have to watch me struggle putting things away. Alright. So I was happy with that. It kind of made my day. I was like, alright, now if I don't find anything else today, I'm okay. I did find other stuff, though. Only none of it was from yard sales, believe it or not. I can't believe I got all this other stuff at the flea market so late. Alright. So, first story, not a long story, don't worry. Don't worry, guys. Not that long. You gotta go around. Went to one yard sale. It started on a Friday. They had a couple of like random video game things, but nothing that I wanted, like an Xbox or PS1 with no hookups, that kind of stuff. I asked about other video games. They said, oh, we sold it all yesterday. And I was like, oh, I bet it was old, some good old stuff, huh? And they're like, oh, there was a box with a ColecoVision and an Atari and a bunch of games. I was like, alright. So, flash forward to the flea market. I go to one of the, tables. And, of course, there's a box. What's in it? An Atari, the ColecoVision, a bunch of games. I'm like, you got it. So, that's always annoying to see, like when you actually spot the dealer who got the cheap stuff and then are flipping it over at the flea market. I don't really collect that stuff, so I didn't care that much. But he also had a bunch of Nintendo stuff. He had a system, which he wanted too much for, and I have Nintendo systems anyway. And he had a bunch of Nintendo games. He wanted $5 each, which could be really good or could be really bad, depending on what the game is. He had a bunch of common games, nothing that I wanted, mostly stuff I already have. And at the time of day that it was, I assumed that if there were any better games, they were already picked for $5. But he had a bunch of the games in this. Now, first things first, this isn't an official Nintendo thing, I don't think. Now, the games were in it, and it has a little Nintendo sticker on it, and obviously it's made for Nintendo games, but when I say it's not official, I mean, I don't think it was, officially licensed. There's a sticker on the back that says made in Indonesia. That's one clue. It's not official. So anyway, he had a bunch of games in that, and the one corner was busted, at the hinge. It was open. Someone pried it open, busted it. So I looked at it, and I said, hey, this is broken. Give it to me for $1. And he's like, yeah, sure, take it for $1. I'm like, nice. So I got this for $1. I brought it home. I glued it back together. I cleaned it up. And friggin' nice, right? I mean, I just wanted to display some games in. And as you can see here, you can actually hang this box. There's the holes. You can actually hang this on the wall and then put the games in. I have some Nintendo games right here. Some Nintendo games, you just slide them right in. Nice display case. And something I could actually get some use out of, Get some of my games out of boxes and pop it on the wall somewhere. Have a nice little display for some of the better games, anyway. So that was I thought that was an awesome score for $1. Even if it's not an officially licensed Nintendo thing, that sticker does it for me. So that may be my favorite find of the day, even though it's a box and it isn't worth that much money. I also saw at the flea market there was also an entertainment system. I don't remember what it was called. I think it just said entertainment system on it, and it was basically a plastic holder for a system and games and stuff, and you're supposed to put all your games and system in it and be able to kind of look like a piece of plastic, like a plastic holder, and then a clear plastic dome that you put on top. And the woman had a Nintendo with it, and a couple controllers and a game. I asked how much she wanted for the whole shebang. She was like $75. I walked away. A little later, I came back, and I asked if she would be willing to sell just the holder, because for that, you know, if that was cheap enough, I'd take that. They wanted 20. I talked them down to 12, and I was going to take it, but then my brother and I were kind of looking at it, and the Nintendo didn't really fit in it properly, and she was saying that it said Atari on it somewhere, and she was saying that it's for both the Atari and the Nintendo, but that Nintendo system wasn't fitting properly, as far as I could tell. Like, there was no way that you could plug controllers in and have it still look well, like work. So I ended up passing on it, even though it was kind of cool. And for $12, you know, it was an alright deal. I ended up passing on that. Sticking with the video games for just a second, I found a Sega controller for $1. A lot of my Sega controllers, the buttons like are spongy and don't work that well. So I tested these buttons and they're crisp. So for $1, take that every day. I don't know if you guys remember last week. I got Casper, the Friendly Ghost shampoo bottle, and there were 2 heads, but only 1 body. I happened back to that same booth, and I found the other body. And I asked the lady if she remembered me. She's like, "Oh, I remember you. Yeah, just take it, just take it." So I got the other body for the Casper head. I'll probably end up giving that away in the yard sale, mystery yard sale box. I know I'm saying that it's in there, but I might. I don't know. Just as a little... So I am still doing that giveaway. And finally, as kind of like a little bit of kismet, I told you I went to the drive-in, the 3 movies that we're going to see. Well, found E.T., the extraterrestrial pop-up spaceship, in the package, which I thought was pretty neat. I actually took that sort of as just a side purchase to the other item, which is the E.T. Nightlight. And this I love. So I spotted this. He wanted $5 for it, and I think he wanted like 3 for this. And then he said he'd give me both for $6, which I was you know, I was fine with the original price, to be honest. $5 is not too bad for an E.T. Nightlight. It does still work. I tested it. I put some batteries in. It uses a plug, but it says right on the box that the AC adapter was optional and not included. So unless I find a 6-volt AC adapter that I could use, you have to use batteries with it. Really cool, you know. Take it out for a sec for you guys. Take a look. Pretty neat. I tried to clean it up a little bit. It's still a little dusty in there. But I was pretty excited about that find. They go for about $20-25 on eBay. I'm not planning on selling it. I might even use it. I'm scared of the dog. Help me. Help me. I need a nightlight. There is one more item in there that I forgot about. And my brother actually spotted this. They wanted 50 cents for it, which is, you know, Monster in My Pocket cards. Yay! I love Monster in My Pocket. Of course. I don't have any Monsters in My Pocket, but now I have a packet of trading cards. I am not going to open this, as I usually wouldn't for things like this. I don't think they're really that hard to find. I'm pretty sure, like, there's a lot of these old card sellers, you know, like, what's the one? Don't Eat the Gum. And I think there are actually websites that just sell the old packs of cards. I'm pretty sure these are available, like, for $1 or $2 a pack. But, you know, it was cool, it was fine. I'll take it. 50 cents. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I was just trying to scratch under the chin. I'm sorry. What do I gotta do? You guys. That's it. that was all. That was everything for this week's yard sales. I'm happy with it. You know, would I have liked to find a box of Super Nintendo and Nintendo games for $2? Yeah, of course. But can't find it every day, right? All right, everybody. I hope you're having a great 4th of July weekend. Barbecue, have some beer, drink some Ecto Cooler. If you go out to the yard sales or did go out and make a video, let me know. I will watch it. If you didn't make a video but want to tell me what you got, message me or leave a comment. I'm always excited to hear what finds you all have. And I am still doing a yard sale mystery box giveaway. I just haven't had the time to like formulate how I want to do that. But I will let you guys know as soon as I know. Cheers. Breathe deep of the night. Happy 4th. Oh, Twilight Zone Marathon starts tonight. This Sunday at, I believe, 11:30 on the Sci-Fi Channel. Don't miss it. All right.